recording right now, and we are recording. So, welcome to the virtual program for readiness. We're going to cover some of the tools that the library has, as well as some other freely accessible tools. So, these are like tools that the Department of Education has, as well as other organizations that will help you do the various things you need to prepare for college. The kind of focus on this is for juniors and seniors. That's kind of the main focus of this for juniors and seniors and their parents. So we're going to help you with so it's going to be divided into several parts, kind of finding out what you want to study before college and while you're in college, kind of laying the groundwork to help you kind of narrow your college search. And it's going to lead us into where to study and then how to save and pay for tuition, some of the various tools that the library has, and to help you do that. And then we're going to look at how to make the admissions process as smooth as possible. And finally, we're going to look at how to prepare for life in college, since it will be a lifestyle change that comes with college, from going out of high school, or maybe even for some of you might be going out of, maybe you spend some time out of that, or deciding to go into college by yourself. And there's some bits of this are kind of aimed at that. Okay. All right. So welcome once again. Should So we're going to start with what to study. It's going to help us find like personality quizzes, career overviews, and some occupational exams, kind of studying what occupations are out there and how we want to study to help us kind of lay the groundwork so when we begin to search for schools. Some of the questions you want to personally ask yourself are, what are your favorite classes and activities? Particularly for most of you, like I say, this is aimed at high school people, particularly when you're in high school. um, what do you like doing, and maybe even some of the activities. And we want to maybe look at what are the requirements for the major that you're thinking about, and then how will the major fit into my career aspirations, so we can see what the career aspirations will be, and what using some of the tools the library has to see what a career might have in hand for you. So we're going to start some of the options for the career exploration are Learning Express Library, which is a resource that the library has, and I can actually I'll go and click it open here. I'm actually going to show you how to go to that. So starting with that, we can start with the St. Louis Library, St. Louis County Library homepage. That's slcl.org that we can see at the top. If we go into research, we can see we have resources A to Z. That's where we're going to find most of these, the library-based resources A to Z. And we were looking at Learning Express Library. And so we'll go resource. It starts with an L. So we'll go to L for Learning Express Library. And that's right here at the top, Learning Express Library. And when we click on that, it's going to take us to a login page, or it should. It's looks like it may still have me logged in here, but it's going to take you to a login page where you put in your library card information, you put in your last name, your library card information, and your PIN. If you've ever used the catalog before and you've logged in, it'll be a very similar looking screen. Um, and so we're looking at some career guidance, and we can see in the home uh, here that we have career exams. So we'll look at career. We can type in career. We can have best careers for teachers, becoming a caseworker, um, and there's some career guidance here. So that's what this has there. You can explore, you can even search for jobs and internships in Learning Express Library, and you can take quizzes to cover your aptitudes and review job listings. So let's say you want career possibly in nursing. Here's some nurse entrance exams, and we're not counting or grading you. So these are kind of things you can see and what to prepare for if you're doing nursing or other types of career journeys. Does anybody have any questions about Learning Express Library? We're going to cover a couple other very similar kind of resources out there. The next one is Gale Courses, and that you get to using the same way using the research resources A to Z, and going to G. And for this is Gale Courses. And you can type in again career, And so we have explore career in medical writing, explore career in medical coding, explore career as pharmacy technician, and a bunch of other ones, paralegal, nursing, and a lot of different careers here. And the library, of course, as we all know, the library carries books, and that's what I'm going to point out here. Some of the guide, it's got some career exploration guides and some vocational quizzes. If we go to here, so there's like the Teen's Guide to College and Career Planning, your high school roadmap to college. But to point out a way to use the catalog, one of the interesting ways to use the catalog is you might find a book that you know of or that you like, and this will apply to any books, but particularly for this use, we can see this has a vocational guidance down here at the bottom in the subject area. And so we can actually look at vocational guidance and see what other books are in the subject area in the library. There's a reference book, Encyclopedia of Careers and Vocational Guidance. Um, some other stuff. This is very focused at, as we can see, all age kind of thing. So dream jobs in technology. These are kind of like for young young teenagers, but this is looking at kind of building a career path for yourself. Careers for dummies, options. So you'll see quizzes, career quizzes, and other stuff like that that'll you'll find here. So here's one that might be useful at the end of college, finding a work you love, 3 steps to getting your perfect job after college, and other options for books for career guidance. And one of the main resources I want to point us out from the career exploration, let's say you're interested in a career, the Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and that is accessible by, if you just do a Google search for the Occupational Outlook Handbook, it will show you this. It's also listed under if you do OOH, typically that hits high on the Google search. So here in the Occupational Outlook Handbook, we can see all the various different occupational groups. You can also search the handbook. So let's say if you're looking at a career, let's say in chemistry. Let's see what we have for chemistry. So we have chemists and material scientists, chemical engineers, chemical technicians, and other things in the realm of chemistry. Anytime it mentions the simple word chemist, it will show up here. So you can begin to look at, if you want to get a career, let's say as a chemist or material scientist, go and click chemist and material scientist, and it will give you the listing in this occupational handbook about that. And we can see what the occupational outlook lists. There's some tabs across the top, but we have the main summary here. We can see the number of jobs that are in 2019, which is the last review of that, and the job outlook. It has about a 5% job rate growth. That's faster than average, and employment changes of people coming in and out of that predicted numeric change in employment from 2019 to 2029. It tells you a little quick rundown of what they do. It also gives you the 2020 median pay as what chemists and material scientists make, and that's the median pay. So that's the middle of all the chemists in the that work in the United States. The one in the very middle of all that pay rate makes about $80,000 per year. A little bit more details as to what they do, the work environment, what kind of pace you're expecting, what's expected, some of the dangers in the work environment, um, the path to become one. This would be important for you as you go through. Just a little quick rundown as to what that is, what you might need from college or university, possibly looking in the graduate study, a little rundown of pay, a little bit more details of that pay thing as to what type of particular career in this occupation you might see in the different pay rates there. The job outlook, growth, state and area data. It gives you options. You can begin to look at the regional wages for the jobs. Some similar occupations. So occupations, if you're looking to do a career move or graduate with a degree in physics, as to what comes out, and some of the entry level education expected for some of these. And a little bit more info, particularly professional organizations and societies and professional societies working in that. So you can begin to either get like a student membership if they offer that or anything like that. So you can start to become professionally involved, maybe even before you go into college. or during college, and start possibly attending, seeing if there's a convention going on near you, or use these to as you go on, maybe finding mentors or internships. And that's going to be transitioning out of college. But yeah. So does anybody have any questions about this, the occupational outlook, or any of these other resources? Give us the time to go and answer the questions. About 30 seconds here, and we'll go on. Okay. All right. We already mentioned Gale courses and how it explores, how you can take that and explore that. You can also build skills in your area of interest, from technology and education. If you feel you're weak on writing, or you need more math skills, this is one way. This is Gale courses is structured. It is an online course. It's structured a little bit more like a traditional course you might take. There will be course sections that you can attend. It is asynchronous, but you can attend them every so often. There will be assignments that are due during these from these start dates on, and you can attend those courses. Whereas some of our other e-learning options work just a little bit differently. All right, now that we've decided possibly what we want to do with our future beyond college, we can begin to start naming what we want to do, where we want to go to college, what we want to get out of a college. So what colleges will offer us the best choice to continue on. So you can begin to make your calls to colleges and visit them. So where to study? It's going to be about finding colleges and scholarships. So finding a college, some things to consider is how far from home you want to be. Do you want to start with a 2-year, or do you want to go a full 4-year institution? Or what do you want at the end, really? Do you just want an associate's degree for what career option you want to start with, or do you want to? Would you need maybe a 4-year bachelor degree? Do you want a public or private college? What kind of financial aid is offered in these colleges? Are they respected for the major you're seeking? And what extracurricular activities are offered within this college? And then what kind of housing is available? And some of these tools are also going to look at what the costs of these colleges are, and that gets a little bit complicated with certain colleges, and they offer like scaled tuition based on what your household income is and what your previous family's income is. But we'll go on and see. So some of the helpful websites, Master Timeline for College Admissions. This is offered by the Khan Academy, and that should get us, yeah. So Master Timeline. So it's a way you can begin to search. It kind of gets us a master timeline to find what the colleges are and what to do, what time of year. And this is going to match up with the hand up I'm going to send you at the end of this, which will discuss certain times of year as to when to take action on certain things, because there's certain deadlines that are very specific and things you need to be ready for ahead of time. So that's what this will do, and it'll give you a timeline. One of the main things here is the College Navigator, and this is something offered by the Department of Education, and you can actually search it by doing a quick Google search for College Navigator, and it is our top search in College Navigator. If you don't know how to find it otherwise, it just makes it a real easy one. And what College Navigator does, it allows you as a user or student or parent to begin to filter out universities. So so you can add in states if you want. You can search by state. You can also, if you want to, you can search by a zip code. So you can search by, so that's the library zip code right there. And you can do miles from. So you can say, I want to do search for school. It's 150 miles from here. I'm looking for a school that's offering a bachelor's degree and a public school. We can even add more search options if you want. So you can look at tuitions and fees in the state you live in. So it can be based on the state you live in. So you can be what kind of thing you have, the size of the student body that you're looking for. So you can look for a large school or a small school if you want to narrow it down to there. Of course, some of these might conflict with each other. If a school is not large enough near you, then it won't show up in your search. You can even look up specialized mission, religious affiliation, if that's a concern of yours, as to what church or religion it might be affiliated with or founded from. You can even look up varsity athletics. So if you're interested in possibly here doing, uh, looking for one that has a varsity rodeo program or varsity ice hockey, if that's something you're interested in, there are lots of options to look into. I'm going to keep this search this the simple one and go and close up these search options. And we're just going to look and see what the results look like for schools within 150 miles of our headquarters branch there. And actually, let's go and browse for some programs. Um, let's look at some bio schools. We'll just add this whole category of biological and biomedical sciences. So we'll just do that. We'll show some results for public schools in the area. And here are results for those degree fields. So we've got University of Missouri St. Louis, so that's very local. Harris Stowe, Southern Illinois University Edwardsville, and you see these start getting further out here. So when we find a school we're interested in, let's just use, let's go ahead and use University of Missouri Columbia as an example, just so we can see a school that most people are probably familiar with here. Um, and it's going to give you a real quick rundown as far as how far it is away from the zip code. This is as the crow flies, that kind of distance there. The main switchboard number. Quick rundown of what kind of degrees are offered. It offers the full range of degrees, even some certificates. Some campus setting, what the city is. But here, as we begin to expand these, we can begin to see a lot more details about that. So we see some general information, special learning opportunities that they have, and this will be listed in a lot of different schools. We can also see tuition and fees here, which will become an important later, and we can see how these are broken down. Of course, some of these are going to be estimates. Well, the on campus will be a little bit more solid, but these off campuses will kind of be estimates as to what you're going to be spending off campus in some of these facilities. And so this may come into factor. You may find going into different cities that the cost of living off campus or on campus will be significantly different. And then they'll also offer us an option of looking at in-state or out-of-state tuition, and what this is, what the whole kind of total expenses will be in and off campus. We can also see the change year to year in cost changes, and this past year has been kind of disruptive. So sometimes looking at these, we can see wild swings in what the costs might be for students. Um, which we might not see in years that might be what might be considered a normal year. um, but that's going to be offered, and I'm going to talk a little bit about cost of attending college, and this is something to kind of pay attention to. And then we have the average graduate tuition if you're interested in possibly a graduate program, and what that tuition is, and possible financial assistance. So we have financial aid that's offered in the school, how it's distributed, the number of students receiving that type of aid. So you can see there's lots of institutional grants and scholarships, which can ameliorate the cost of attending that. So you can see a lot of students do receive a fair amount of aid in this kind of realm, and it helps to know what's kind of coming in as you figure in your total cost of college and the percent you're going to be paying out of pocket or expect to be paying out of pocket. Of course, that won't be solved until shortly before you attend. And we can see about some undergraduate students here as well, what they kind of get with Pell Grants and such. And then there's an issue of net price, and that's all explained here as to exactly what that is, what your possible net price is going to be. And there's a calculator you can use, and that's from the university actually provides that. You can see them by the missouri.edu website there. Next, we can see the breakdown of enrollment, so we can see what the enrollment looks like in these colleges. You can see what their admissions, you can see what their admissions policies are, what their test scores, their expectation of student submitting scores, what their admission kind of lays out like. retention and graduation rates, how many students stick around from beginning to end in the graduation, how many part-time students stick around, kind of an attrition rate for the schools, um, some outcomes. These charts you can read about them um, about how the success rate is in the school. Breakdown of the programs and majors, the number of students in these programs and majors, and the level that these programs and majors offers. So does anybody have any questions? I'm kind of going through this fast and kind of just going point by point, but if you have questions, just go and stop me here. So we have options where the attendance of service members and veterans, so the varsity athletic teams that they have, and the number of people on there, the number of individuals on these teams, where the accreditation comes from, and it's his history of accreditation, where the accreditation runs to, and the programs that are accredited by the professional um, organizations that oversee that. So this top one is the institution as a whole, and these other ones are accreditations from this. So the veterinary school at the University of Missouri Columbia, the veterinary medicine is accredited here until the end of this. So there's things you can look at on this. So you can see where the accreditation runs to. This might be a concern of you if you're looking at a school and you find it's no longer accredited there. Issue of if security and safety is an issue, this will be a breakdown of what the campus police or campus security has reported. It's a requirement of Department of Education that these records are kept. So every school should have something like this. You'll see more or less what they are on and off campus kind of incidents of various things. And default rates as to what it is. This is kind of a fickle thing for things, but these are students that kind of stay in and kind of go out on the loan stuff. It's kind of might not be a concern in choosing a college, but this is more so for financial people that are invested in the college. Does anybody have any questions about this tool or how it can be used or how you might any ideas as to how you might use it? It's there's a lot in this tool, and I find it really useful for finding out what what a university has, and to kind of see who's at the university and kind of get a view of it from afar, and to begin to contact that university as the kind of the best tool for finding the very raw data about a school. And you can add the favorites and other such like that. And you can compare schools side by side if you want. There's those options too. I'll give you that output. Okay. All right. And then big future is by the College Board, and you may have seen there when this loads up. You may have seen their symbol when you've done study guides or applied for tests and stuff. This College Board symbol here. It's a way. It's just a tool that kind of lets you kind of. It's a structured tool to finding out about what what you're going to get out of college and what you want for college. It kind of takes you through those vocational guidance tests and stuff like that, and it'll help you. Another filter you can use to help you find colleges. So if you use all these tools and find the filter and find one school keeps on showing up, that might be the school for you, or definitely be a school that's going to go on your short list. That does that. A school you call, a school you want to go visit. Okay. All right, and we covered Learning Express Library. We're going to go back in there. We're going to start looking at, now that you found a school, we're going to start looking at the scholarship finder, at scholarships and some funding for schools. Particularly, we're going to start with this Learning Express Library, which I was already in. But when you get the Learning Express Library, you can actually visit it. Um, and it will give you a main page, but you can also, you'll use, when you start learning with it, you'll actually use your personal sign-in. So there's personal sign-in is there. It's my email address, and you'll be able to see that. And that. So there's ebooks. There's even other ebooks. So Write Your Way into College. When I saved this Right Way into College, College Admission Essay, and so there's other things that are available here. But particularly what I want to point out is the scholarship search option. So it's a scholarship finder, and they have a pretty intense advanced search option for finding scholarships. Um, so for this free money, so it's just different types of things. So you can select your gender, citizenship. It's a long list of citizenship that might be have scholarships out there, um, and other types of options for citizenship that may be attained or anything like that. What state you're in, race, ethnicity. So that's one thing. You also have awards, what type of award you might be looking for, and you can actually choose them all if you're looking for that. So you can see all types of different types of awards that are out there, what the award covers, if it covers partial tuition, comprehensive tuition, or anything like that. So you begin to set these filters down here. A second ago, your academic goals, where you are in school, um, what your GPA, what your highest S.A.T score is, any kind of like national merit that scholarship you're in, or scholarships plural, activities and interests, affiliations. If you have a military affiliation, some of these are even children of veterans, so child of things that might have scholarships available. So you can use this, and you can begin to display the different types of options that are out there to get a scholarship, and build a list of scholarships you can apply for, and you can begin to save these scholarships, um, and look at when their due date is, so you can begin to set calendar reminders to fill out the application, to get the essay ready, to get your letters of recommendation for these scholarships, should these be the things you need for those scholarships, and get those in on time, so that you have that scholarship money coming for you on time. Does anybody have questions about the scholarship finder? I think it's a real handy tool. So you can see you can save it right here. So, and some of these are just small scholarships, but if you begin to apply for them all, they can really add up. Registration, you do have to use the scholarship finder. They want you, so you will need a library card, of course, to use the Learning Express. To use the Learning Express library. So the question is registration required to see scholarships? You will have to set up a registration, and that just requires an email address. So you'll sign in and register. You'll be a new user. Of course, I've used my user one, and that just allows you to keep track of that search for you. And the scholarships on that end. So if you find a scholarship, this is just data about how to contact the scholarship information. They won't know that you searched them and decided not to go with them, or decided that you're going with something else. So I'll just use this here. We'll just do a simple search like this here, and I'm going to open this one up so we can see what that listing is like. Does some information about this. Word amount coverage. So they give 2 out, and the application deadlines. And here's how you can sign up for it there. And you can print out this information too if you want, or you can just save it to your center. And if you click Save Scholarships, you'll see that one we just looked at right here. Okay, had to get some water there. Sorry about that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Any questions about this the Scholarship Finder and Learning Express library? One option that's available it's available in Library Open, but now that the library is open, you'll be able to use this resource by coming into the library. It's foundation grants in individuals, and it also offers a scholarship finder. So they have scholarships and also grants, and you can see what's required to apply. There's another tool called Candid Learning. I'll find that here. So you can actually find these tools in, actually, I'm going to do in this researcher topic option. There is a grants page, and this is where the grants option is. So grant select is one you can use. It is also has grants and scholarship opportunities, and you can see a lot of these are on here today. Uh, so candid learning is an option that allows you to learn how to write grants. It's not typically focused at students getting grants, but typically focused on not-for-profits or other businesses in applying for their grants. So, but I just want to point out this tool if that's a path you may want to go on. It may be more focused as you go on and go into your academic career and getting studies. This may be a resource you might use. And then that last thing we're going to speak of funding is going to be using Morningstar, which is one of our financial databases, and using both the I know a lot of people are probably here that are later in high school, but using this in order for your college savings calculator options. So Morningstar, it's another one of our databases that can be accessed once again through research resources A to Z, going to M, and then going to Morningstar Investment Research Center. Ah, here's the login page that didn't come up before. So here in Morningstar, lots of tools for financial investing, but one of the two I want to point out is the college cost calculator. And here has various different options to solve for. So kind of save yourself the complicated math, and you can do this. So let's say you have, so you got 5 years until college. You plan to spend 4 years in college. You go into a four-year college institution. Current annual cost, and in Mizzou, the current annual cost, if you're living on campus or on or off campus, is about $22,000 a year. That's the total cost. That's just all of tuition, all of the rent, room and board kind of put in there, kind of that we saw in that college navigator. The inflation of college costs. There's a thing called the higher education price index, and that can be looked up. Its initials is HEPI, HEPI, and that's like an inflation. There's a consumer price index, and this organization, higher Common Fund, offers the higher education price index and lists that. Right now, it's running about right close to the consumer price index, which is about 2.7%. Let's go and round it up to 3%, just to kind of get conservative about our savings. Let's say we've done savings ahead, and we have about $33,000 in there right now, and we're contributing about 1,500 bucks a year into our savings. And the annual return before college, the percentage return. Let's say we're being a little bit aggressive. It's a good market. We're getting about 11%. And while we're in college, we're going to have bonds that return us about 3%. So then we have a calculation, and they'll say the amount needed at start of college. And so we're going to be able to cover about 63.67% of our costs with uh, with what that is right there. And of course, you can solve for different options. The annual savings, so we saw before, but we want to cover 75% of our costs instead of that 68%. So we're going to actually need to really bump up our savings with this calculation on that. So this is a college cost calculator, really a college savings calculator that has that there. Another tool that Morningstar has is if you look in their funds option at the top are 529 college savings plans. And this will have Morningstar's financial advisor reports on various savings plans. And you can list these out by state, by the analyst rating, or anything like that. Some states allow you to invest in other states' options. You don't get some of the tax breaks, in-state tax breaks when you do that. But for instance, here's Missouri's. On the right, you have the PDF report, and this will download the PDF report. So and show you a financial breakdown of the return, how they got to the rating, what their ratings is of this, and a little narrative about the report. Um, there is also uh, the 529 College Savings Plan site, which I got to there through the Morningstar site. But the but you can have another breakdown where you can begin to compare different states' options. Missouri just has the most one there. We'll have the breakdown of that, the in-state savings, the state credit, tax tuition, um, other types of enrollment fees, minimum investments. Um, so minimum initial contribution is $25 for that. So pretty low cost to get started on that. I'm going to move on here. Well, before I move on, does anybody have questions about the Morningstar Investment Research Center and the college savings option? All right, then the next thing we're going to look at is admissions, and we're going to look at options, what we have for practice tests and study guides for admissions. Um, Admissions, one of the key things that's going to separate away, you can work on your academics, but some things that colleges want to know that you have is they want to know what your personality is, and that's going to come through in your essay, and also in like your college visit too. So some of the essay tips from doing the research around there and finding out what different things have just simply broke down as you want to write about something that's important to you. Start early, write several drafts, have people look at that, and we'll tell you about how we have that option. You can always open with an anecdote, a little story about yourself, personal story. Kind of take a step back and stop trying a little bit too hard. Kind of get a little bit light with it. Remember, they're trying to see your personality. They can see all the academic stuff and your test scores and other options in your grades. Swap sophistication for self-awareness, and there's also options. You can read essays that have worked. Also follow the instructions, and follow the instructions is very key. I do a little course on publication when you're submitting to magazines and such. Following the instructions is very key because that can because they also want to see while you're able to get these simple instructions and follow through on them, and that's gonna they see that as a metric of your college success. Uh, use the application, as I said before. Use the essay to tell them what your application can. Use them to tell a little bit more about yourself, your inside self. Let yourself shine through. So I'm getting back to Learning Express Library, and they do have they do have practice tests, and they also have tutorials on writing admission essays. So Learning Express Library, they'll have tips and tricks for taking the entrance exam and writing admission essays, and there'll also be practice tests on there. So it's a low risk test for taking those tests. You'll get a similar outcome as that, and they also have occupational entrance exams like the NCLEX and some practice stuff tests on that in the Learning Express library. Um, it's not actually taking the exams, it's taking practice exams, this thing I should put on there, taking practice exams in those areas. So if that's a field you want to get into, you can see what those are going to be in 4 years down the road at the end of your college, what kind of test you'll take. Of course, they might change how the test looks, but that's going to be a thing that you can see your success. You can measure your success and how the lack of knowledge you have at the beginning of college, and then when you come at the end of college and actually take those tests, you can begin to know, you can begin to set a goal for yourself to improve on those tests and succeed in those occupational exams. LinkedIn Learning, if you're looking at doing an essay, there's some courses in there, particularly courses writing a strong essay. LinkedIn Learn. It used to be called lynda.com, and it shows you. It has a lot of courses that you can take, in particular other things like that. So there's other study skills options you have, some learning everyday math. It's a lot more. The courses they have a lot more people in a professional environment than people get into an academic environment. But this is one option you have, and it'll allow you to learn some. It also has programming classes and some. So it's very technologically heavy. So if you need some technological skills going into college, particularly if you're an adult college student, this might be a way that you can get caught up on those skills using simple computer skills and other things like that. Lynda.com is something what's called LinkedIn Learning now. Sorry if I said Lynda.com. It's now called LinkedIn Learning. Something that you can use for that. Those kind of like technical skills, kind of do a quick catch up on those items. One resource that I really like for doing test prep and test study is tutor.com. This is a library resource. It's available, just became available just almost a year ago. We signed up and we used some of the CARES Act funding for this and some of the other reorganization of how we have to allow at-home tutoring. I really like this resource. And that's access. You want to access it first to the St. Louis County Library's webpage. Again, research when you know what you're going for. Resources A to Z T for tutor.com. We see it right at the top there. And so tutor.com, I've logged in earlier today, so it already has me logged in. You'll set up an account, and this is going to be you'll personally chat. You can either do a live personal chat with a tutor, or you can do an asynchronous chat. So you submit a paper, and it would come out. So let's say submit a paper. You've got your essay ready. Ready to tutor essay. Actually, no. What's this here? That's running slow. So there is the option here in the Write Tutor. So somebody that's going to help you with writing, and you can even use this this source in a job search. If you're writing, they'll do resume review for you. They'll do all kinds of things, and you can select the subject. So you can do letter if you're just a letter writer and you want someone to look over a letter that you're writing professionally or something like that. They can look over it and offer you tutorials on that. But for this instance, college scholarship essay, you can tell them your grade, and you can enter your question there. And sometimes they'll ask you, you can even attach a file. So you can attach the file of that. You can even chat them over voice. So you can do a direct voice chat. Well, they don't have that there, but they'll do a live text-based chat for you that way. And they'll with the files, they'll do like markups. You'll actually see the markup on there. They'll do notes on the side, little kind of circles on things. If you've missed if they have a question that you may need a comma somewhere to make more sense, or they'll say this isn't clear enough, or they'll say this doesn't come through, or what about that? They'll give you questions about that. So they're not really they won't be there to edit your paper, but they will be there to give you tutorial and guidance on that, and tell you what areas you would need to work on. And of course they have these. They also have practice quizzes as well. So practice quizzes in subject areas. They have prep for the S.A.T and A.C.T. So once again, this would help you with admissions and also with scholarship information if you need a particular bar to cross for scholarship stuff. Tutor.com is a tool that I would highly recommend you visit as well, even as you get in. If you stay local and still have access to this, or to use for even in your college career. So there's prep for the S.A.T now and prep for the A.C.T now. So there's that option there, option provided by the library. And then we're going to look at how to study. This is kind of preparing for college, seeing what kind of different types of studying process you have. And one option is to begin with the great courses, which is offered both in Canopy and a visual course, and through our option of Libby slash Overdrive. They're the same. They've got the same source of things, and that's available. Both Canopy and Libby and Overdrive are available on your mobile device. So in the great courses in Canopy, um, and you would access this using your library card. Browse. It says browse movies, but also great courses is part of this. And the good thing about the great courses is Canopy has a 10 item per month checkout rate, but the great courses, there's no limit on the great courses. So this could be maybe a subject area you're interested in, and you can find those options there. And now we could look into as you go into college, your study life will shift, and your academic and your social life will likely shift too. And so we have ways that you can begin to navigate college life and how it's different, how being away from home might be different, how the life on campus might be different than what you may have experienced in high school, or if you're getting back into college, getting some study habits, knowing about what to do when that happens. We do have multiple print resources on this, and let's actually look up one of these books. So we'll look up study habits. One option. So we see study things. We can look up college life. So we can just see this first one here has this here. And once again, when you find a book that is kind of germane to what you want, using the subject to kind of very much get that subject thing, then just keywords really helps out a lot. So guides to freshman year, looking for the right school at the right price. And this will also help you in deciding that. But there's community college information for you. So lots of books that are available. And when you see the book you want, of course, now you can just hit request it, and we'll have that ready for you in a couple days, and you can pick it up. And one last resource I want to point us to is a resource called Academic Search Elite. When you get to college, of course, in high school, a lot of your research is you are required to do a lot of research. In college, you might be using these databases a lot more. And this database is called Academic Search Elite, and it's a database we have at the library that mirrors a lot what academic libraries have. And so you can use it to do some of your research, and you can use it in college, in high school as well, or even your personal research if you aren't in college or in high school right now, and use it to search something. So let's say you want to search information on maroon communities. You want to do some historical research on maroon communities. So some history about the African diaspora. So some interesting things. So yeah. So if you have any questions for us, I'm going to leave this slide up for the last about 5 minutes of this. And just let you know, if you have any questions for the last, like I say, last 5 minutes, I will be sending a handout. Expect that in the next, by the end of the day, by 5 o'clock. And yeah, so if you have any questions while we're here, go and ask them in the chat, and I'm happy to hear them and go back and either discuss it or kind of cover these databases if I went over too fast for you or something popped up later that references to earlier. Just a question for you. You don't have to answer it. Just as to know where you might be in your college search or anything like that. If anybody wants to type that in, that way I can just know. I joined a little late. Is there? So the first question is, I joined a little late. Is there a compiled list of all the websites you talked us through? Yes. You'll be getting the handout and also make this slideshow. I'll make this a separate handout. So you'll be getting two files. You'll be getting one of the slideshow, and then one of the of the handout. And also I've been recording this, and we'll have that up on the library's YouTube page in about a week or so. Do any of these databases have PSAT prep? They should. Let me just go ahead and check right there. I mentioned Learning Express Library was one I pointed us to. So let's go ahead and find that right there. Sorry, that contact information has gone away. I'm sorry about that, but I'll put that back up a little bit. So Learning Express Library, and we'll just type in and do PSAT. There we are. There's the PSAT practice test in the specific field areas. So practice tests, it looks like just practice tests, but you can use that to see where your weaknesses are. I took many years ago when I took my graduate, when I went to graduate school, I took a couple different practice tests just to see where I was weak, and then I kind of beefed up on those weak areas, and also beefed up on my strong areas where I thought I could do that. Oh yes, we've got lots of resources. Um, and do colleges require ACT scoring from your high school year? You'll want to check with those in individual colleges. You'll use that college navigator I showed to look at that. It's going to be different from college to college, and depending on the age that you're in entering school or in entering college and how much college you previously had, that's going to be a case-to-case basis on that. You want to ask the colleges that you're requiring what they are. They will have listing for returning students or for new students as to what it is. It's different from college to college. Some have a AC, they'll have different bars for reaching ACT scores as well. So put this contact information back up for us. BSMD, what is that? Describe what BSMD. I'm not familiar with that acronym. We can use the college navigator. Oh, it's a pre-med. Okay. Let's actually see. That's the Bachelor of Science, kind of Bachelor of Science, medical doc. Okay, yeah. Um, it might be pre-med. Let's see. Browse for programs. So you can actually, let's see. Uh, so there's pre-medicine, pre-medical studies. Is that maybe what you can do that? So if you add that in there, and we'll just go ahead and have that in there. We'll have it set to the whole United States. We can actually do the search. So here's 161 schools that offer that that pre-med. And then you can begin to narrow it down by geography. If you even want to, you can have the size of town you want. So yeah, you're welcome. And we are coming up to the end of this. Expect that email in your inboxes, and I'm actually going to send this even to people that did not attend. They'll be getting this too. So I thank you very much, and I'm going to leave this contact information up. I'm going to put myself on mute for a little bit, and then I'll be back and all in the meeting. So thank you all very much for attending, and tell everybody you know about our options. Excellent. Yeah. All the stats are looking for. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of dry, but it really gets you exactly what you want. It's very dry. It's like a nice meal that sticks to your sides. All right. Thank you very much. I'm gonna put myself on mute, and I'll have this up for about 3 more minutes.